Welcome. Thanks for coming. We are really fortunate to have you all here. And Millbury Community TV is filming it so that if you want to watch it again, or you know somebody who's not here who would want to see it, we'll be able to share that with you. I'm Jen Kravitz. I'm the principal here. I know we're in varying states of feeling comfortable about masks or not masks. I'm trying to get to my brother's wedding next weekend, so I'm trying to be a little more cautious. We have kind of an agenda that looks like this. So it's the welcome. I'm going to talk a little bit about whole school information. And then the current kindergarten teachers are going to talk about a day in kindergarten, what your child should bring to school with them, homeschool communication, and then how to help your child get ready this summer. Then we have our two school counselors here who can talk a little bit about school counseling and what that looks like here. And then Mesa, we have two parent representatives coming from Mesa who will be here in a little bit. And they'll talk about our parent-teacher organization, which does great things for kids and for staff. And then we'll finish with some questions. Sound okay? Awesome. So, a couple things about kindergarten and about Mary Hogan. And some of you I know this stuff, and some of you may not know this stuff. Arrival is, our day starts at 8, but there's an arrival window between 8 and 8:15. So if you are somebody who walks or bikes or scoots or carpools or drives their child to school, you have a 15-minute window. So if you don't make it exactly at 8, don't stress. But we do keep the doors shut until 8, and there really is no supervision outside of the building before 8. For a whole list of reasons. So we really encourage you to drop them off at 8 or a little bit after 8. And if you come early, you can certainly come and hang out on the playground with your kids, or you could hang out waiting for them to come in, but please don't leave them at 7:30. Sometimes people are in a rush, but having kids unsupervised outside doesn't feel super safe, and we'll go out, but generally speaking, we don't have the staffing to supervise prior to school starting. The buses also will come in. They'll come in a little bit before 8. Kids will wait until about 8, and then the buses will let them off. This year and last year, we've been splitting up where people come in the building. Kindergarten comes in the main entrance, just like you did tonight. Third grade comes in at the end of A wing. First and second at the end of C wing, and fourth and fifth kind of in the back of the building. It breaks up so that you don't have 370 kids all trying to get through the front doors at the same moment, which can be pretty overwhelming. If your child has an older sibling, they can come through the front doors with them and walk them to class. Like siblings can go in together, that's no problem. But that's kind of the arrival. And I said at the earlier meeting, if you want to walk your child to class, that is okay. And we're working towards independence. So I'll remind you of this, but it's we start on a Wednesday, so the first 3 days, you can walk them into class. Then we have a long weekend, and that Tuesday, go ahead, walk them into class. And then we're going to say, they know the way, we're going to make sure they're adults, but we want them to start walking to class by themselves. So if you're feeling worried about your kid getting to class, you can always, during those 4 days, kind of say goodbye a little bit before the door, or hey, I'm going to get you to the hallway, and then I'm going to wait. I think an important piece for your child is, and you know your children the best, is thinking with them about that first day and the first couple days, how are you going to say goodbye? And making sure that you're feeling like, I'm good, before you kind of send them off into the world and say, you got this. We have dismissal at 2:55, 3 o'clock. We'll get a more fine-tuned schedule to you closer to the school. This year, kindergarten through second grade gets dismissed around like 2:50, 2:52, and then the older kids come out a little bit later. We have a lot of forms and information and communication going out to you guys, and we're trying to nail the right amount. Some people will probably want more communication than we're doing, some people will probably want less, but we're trying to do our best. So if you feel like you're not sure about something, feel free to reach out and ask. You can reach out to me. You can also reach out to Meg, or who's in the back, in the pink, or Kate Conklin, who is doing all the paperwork in our main office for enrollment. And I think, Kate, all of the forms, if you weren't here at the initial meeting, should have been sent home to families. But if you misplaced them, I think we have some extras in the back. And getting the forms done is a little tedious, but we really appreciate it because it means that things go smoothly here on out. So food service and meals. We have a great food service staff. The kids eat their lunch right on the other side of the wall where the fencers are now doing more fencing. And they eat in the lunchroom. They'll have some time, it will just be kindergarten coming in to get their meals and to sit down. And it's just a staggered lunch over the lunch period. And when they're in the cafeteria, they're sitting by their class, like with their class. The staff will help them get their lunch if they choose hot lunch, or if they can bring their home lunch, either way. There's always a hot lunch main course, so today was today French toast? That was yesterday. Turkey cheese croissant today. Yesterday was scrambled eggs, and French toast sticks. Pretty popular meal in these parts. And breakfast is available when kids come in to pick up. It's in a little container. And usually, like I know Julie's Sunday class, they know about how many they need, so they get them from the kitchen and they have them in the classroom at this point, right? We have a great library, and kids are going to get to check out books from the library. Generally speaking, the library starts with them checking out 2 books at a time, and then they build over time and over years to checking out more books. But generally speaking, if you go to the library, it feels like the first year is really them focusing on like checking out the books, bringing them back, and really getting that system solid. But there are a ton of books, and there are tons of books in the library that the kids want. Often kids are requesting books in the library of Miss Julie, who's our librarian, and she's really good about getting them. Some amazing things happen at Mary Hogan, and we're working on, the pandemic really changed the way like parents could interact with school, and I think we're really hoping that next year and following, we're going to really be able to bring back those larger events with families. And I just want you to know the first thing I would anticipate that's going to happen in the school year is Mike Kim, who is a local muralist, will be painting a mural on the end of A Wing, which is right out there by Hawkstone. And that will be something that we hope will be a big celebration, and you'll be invited to, because it'll be a nice, beautiful public mural. And one of the things that makes Mary Hogan amazing are you all and the families. And sometimes people are available and they come in and they might volunteer in the classroom once a week. And sometimes people aren't available and that's okay, and you want to just go on a field trip or help out in some other way. There is a form for anybody who wants to be a volunteer to fill out. And it's pretty straightforward. It just kind of asks which school year it is, name, address, etc. And those are things that we are required to do by the state so that we know who's in our building. And that feels particularly important given recent events, that we know who's in the building and that we're complying with kind of all of our safety procedures. So, I'm happy the job form, the form is on our district website. It says volunteer in our schools. You can fill it out at any point. It lasts, this is the best part. If you fill it out now, it lasts for your child's entire career in ACSD schools. So you just have to do it once in kindergarten, and you can still volunteer in like 5th grade. So it's pretty great. I think that's it for me, but now I have to turn over to the kindergarten teacher all-stars. All right, nice.
Hi everyone, my name is Megan Sears. I am one of the kindergarten teachers here at Mary Hogan, and I'm going to share a little bit about a day in kindergarten and what that looks like. It can change between each of our 4 rooms, but we generally follow the same model, and that begins with breakfast or snack in our classrooms. As Jen mentioned, we have that as an option in the morning, and most often we have it available in our rooms. Over the course of the year, we develop that independence of them getting it on their own, but we do offer that in the classroom. After that, there might be some sort of guided free play time or free choice time. And then we'll come together and have a morning meeting. And during that time, we would read a message together that kind of outlines some parts of our day. We'll greet each other, maybe share something. And then from that point forward, we might move into large or small group work time. And again, that can look different in each classroom. And then that's usually our morning time. We have lunch around 11. And next year we will have lunch, and immediately following lunch will be recess. After we have recess, we come in and students have a quiet time. We don't have formal rest time. However, we do make sure that students have an opportunity to kind of recharge and digest after lunch, relax after recess, and I know in my particular classroom we have activities, like quiet book look, coloring, using a small manipulative just to kind of reset for the afternoon. And then in the afternoon we might have a small block of work time, again a mixture of large and small groups. And then we do have an afternoon snack, and that afternoon snack can be a snack that's brought from home. It also can be a carryover of extras from that morning breakfast meal. So that's something you can decide if you would like to send an extra snack with your student, or if you would like that student to get that extra breakfast in the morning. And then after that snack, or even before that snack, depending on what our master schedule looks like, we do have a daily special. So the specials that students have in kindergarten are music, art, library, and PE. So that depending on the day, your student will go to one of those specials. And then we end our day. And like I said, that day, that's a basic outline. It can look different in each of our rooms. But that's what a day in kindergarten looks like. Franny?
Thanks, Megan. Hi, I'm Franny Gould. I'm going to just give you the list of what to bring to kindergarten every day. You will likely forget these things, but you'll get them on paper many times before school starts. So the first thing is a full-size backpack, and it really needs to be a full-size backpack, even if it looks really ridiculous on your little kindergartner. To start the year, we're going to fill that right up. You're also going to send your take-home folder, which Dana will talk more about the purpose of the take-home folder. When it comes home, just make sure you check inside and then send it right back. Extra clothes. Accidents happen, spills happen, kindergartners are unpredictable. So send extra clothes, they can live at school, including an extra pair of shoes and socks. So 2 snacks every day. As Megan said, you can get that from the leftovers from breakfast, but generally we feed them once in the morning, once in the middle of the day, and once in the afternoon. They are starving all day long for some reason. So, a snack is something small. Snack time is 10 or 15 minutes, so just something to refuel their body, something quick and easy. A refillable water bottle is really important so that they can sip on water throughout the day. So it doesn't, any kind you want, whatever works for you, just a water bottle. If you want to send to lunch, make sure to pack up the lunch. School lunch, of course, is an option. And so that's pretty much everything you need for on the regular. A few notes of things to please not bring to kindergarten. Please don't send your child with toys. We have a ton of toys at school, so we won't be lacking for that. And sort of same thing for school supplies. So we have everything we need as far as pencils and markers and notebooks and scissors and glue and all that. So don't worry about sending that. We'll take care of it.
Thanks, Franny. I'm Dana Pitt, and I'm going to talk a little bit about communication with your teacher at the school. So like Franny said, you're going to get a take-home folder. It's kind of like joining the club. I think every classroom teacher at the school has a take-home folder. Some of us send it home every day. Some of us send it home on Fridays. You will learn our routine really quickly. We're really clear with the students, but we're really clear with parents too. So you will get this, you'll empty it out. You can send notes back in this way. It's really helpful. Hold this for a second, please. Thanks. The school will also send home one of these notepads, and you will win the hearts of the front office staff and teachers if you use these, and I'll explain this in a minute. So usually the first week of school, students have different plans at dismissal, but once they have a set routine, the teacher will know what it is. But if you have, if your child has a doctor's appointment, or you need to send in a special note that they're doing anything different for dismissal, this is what you would write it on. And this is really awesome for us to see because we know, like, oh, there's a yellow note, I need to take that, and then it just goes to the office. If there's ever a quick change of plans before the end of the day, something changes, the best way to get a hold of us is to actually just call the front office. Otherwise, if you need to get in touch with the teacher, nothing pressing or urgent, we really appreciate email. We are pretty quick to respond. We are not really able to check our phones during the day, but we usually can check our email at least once or twice during the day, and we're all pretty good about getting back. What else? We send out weekly newsletters. We do a lot of really fun activities and projects in kindergarten, and we like to keep you in the know of what we're doing in terms of crafts and learning. We like to give suggestions of questions you could ask your child at home so that you feel like you're supporting their learning, or so that you're having a conversation with them about what they're learning. So you will get a weekly newsletter from us, and you will also get a weekly newsletter from Jen, and just talk about school-wide events and anything coming up. And that is done electronically, and you can also get those on the school website as well. So you can get a lot of information from the school website, and then you'll get the newsletter sent home from us in paper form. If there's ever any kind of school closure or anything, the school will also communicate to you with a robocall, and you'll get a phone call either the night before or the morning of if there's any kind of cancellation or any pressing information. Sometimes we have something on Wednesdays called Walk and Roll, and there's reminders about that, and sometimes reminders about upcoming events like Spirit Day. Anything pressing? Missing anything? Okay. On to Julie.
Hi everyone, I'm Julie Shandu. I have some things for you to think about over the summer that will help your child get ready for coming to kindergarten at the end of August. One of the things to think about, be chatty, have conversations at the library or at the park. Just think about when you're on a walk, those back and forth conversations are important, so keep those up. Read aloud every day. Your child learns so much from that, and it builds connection with you and stories with school. Practice independent skills. Jen mentioned in her little talk that we really are building independence. So think about independent skills like bathroom skills, dressing, opening items that are in their lunchbox, separating from you, the caregiver, knowing their full name, and things like following two-step directions. Be a kindergarten cheerleader. This is my favorite one. Play kindergarten at home, go to the playground, think of a fun way to say goodbye and hello. Jen also mentioned, think about how you're going to say goodbye when you separate. I've had families that have like a secret handshake that they do when they say goodbye or when they pick up their child. Be enthusiastic about kindergarten, because that your child needs to see you being excited about it. Play and learn together. Games, imaginative play, songs and chants, scavenger hunts, have fun together. You know, games, you're going to be working on counting skills, and songs and chants, you're going to be working on those beginning literacy skills. Experiences. Go places, visit places, go for special walks, build background knowledge and vocabulary with your child. That's really important for our beginning readers. Be active, practice fine motor activities too, like cutting and drawing lines and zipping, all those fine motor skills too. Keep up those play dates. Now, we're in a time now where you can have play dates. So keep up those play dates to practice taking turns, sharing, listening, and separating. Help them learn what is acceptable behavior. All those really important things for kindergarten. And don't forget about sleep. About a month before school starts, really think about starting that work towards the back to school schedule with bedtime and wake up. And I just read, like 5-year-olds need 11 to 12 hours of sleep per day. And I was like, oh, it's been a while since I've had my own 5-year-old, but they do need a lot of sleep. And it shows when they come to school if they are tired. So really think about that as well. So have fun with your kindergartner this summer and do lots of fun things and talk about those fun things and be ready to be a cheerleader for kindergarten. One more thing. Our classes just have been going down to see Trisha at the Ilsley Library. She likes to come to us once a month, and we just started going down to her. And she talked about the summer reading program at the Ilsley Library. And I think you can go and sign your kids up, and she showed us the sticker system, and my kids were really excited about it. So make use of the library this summer too.
And I'm pretty sure if you read a certain number of minutes, or if you hit the criteria, you get a haymaker bun. So who doesn't like a haymaker bun? They're really delicious. And the second one is being invited to a tie-dye event. Also, kids love to tie-dye. So, thank you guys. The next up is Jenna Zimmerman and Mary Thompson.
Hello everyone, I'm Jenna. This is Mary. Hi everyone, I'm Mary. So for show of hands, can you parents show me if you have kids that already go to school here at Mary Hogan? So there's definitely a few of you, so you might already be familiar with the process of your child starting school here. And then a show of hands of parents, kids who are just starting their first year of kindergarten. There's still a lot of you too that, it's a big transition, not just for your child, but also for you as well. So we totally understand that. And we're here to help if there's any uncomfortable or nervous feelings for your kids in the start of the school year. So that's kind of our main role as school counselors. It's really just to support kids and help them be successful academically, socially, and emotionally. And we do that by providing individual counseling. And the individual counseling can be for whatever's happening, any big life transitions that are happening at home that may impact them here at school. So it could be, for example, maybe a divorce or loss of a family member, or just really any big transitions. And then we also help support kids if they're having trouble with their peers in the classroom or any kind of behavioral things. So we do provide individual counseling. And that can be done through referral from a teacher or from you as their parent. You're thinking that they might need those supports here at school. We also go into classrooms and teach social emotional skills. And some of those skills that we teach are problem solving, responsibility, empathy. We also help with teaching kids how to identify their feelings and manage their feelings, as well as self-control. And then we also do small groups, but maybe the small groups are for older kids because we really try to apply more of a skill-based learning in the whole classroom approach. So that's about it. Is there anything else, Mary, that might be missing? Yeah. Okay, great. So I'm going to show a quick little video clip of our school counselor who will be leaving next year, but he's our school counselor this year. Mary's actually going to be taking his place for next year, which we're so excited about. But this is just a little clip of Jeff Lester, who is our current school counselor, teaching in the kindergarten classroom. Okay.
we do have an Instagram site, and I try and post stuff at least once a day. That's always my goal. So let's see. This is from September, and Jeff was talking with Julie's class actually about listening. What? Oh, thank you. Okay. You know what? I'm going to send you the link because I actually got here and I was like, oh, I set up the microphone well and I got everything set up, but I didn't connect the sound, so I apologize. So I'll do that. I'll send it out to you so you can see what that looks like. But the counselors use a program called Second Step. It's what counselors across ACSD schools use, and it's really effective and engaging for kids in terms of thinking about all the skills that they need. And some students feel like they're stars and they can lead, and other kids feel like they're learning, and it's all good, right? Next up, are Alicia Butler and Casey McDonough talk about MESA, our parent-teacher organization.
Hi everybody. Excuse me. Nice to see some familiar faces out there. So Alicia and I are here to talk about MESA. MESA is the parent-teacher organization at Mary Hogan. So we fundraise, we hold events. You can be as involved as you want or as little as you can be. But Alicia's handing out this flyer here. MESA actually just incorporated this year is one of our goals. So we're now a 501c3 corp, which is great. So you can read through the purpose. This is taken right from our bylaws. But some events that we hold every year, we have a skating event at the skating center over there. It's a free event. We try to have free loaner skates, so as free as possible. We do a Read-A-Thon every November, and maybe Alicia, you could give some details on that in a little bit. We have a book fair. We do a teacher appreciation luncheon, which is actually this Friday. And we do support the school with some of their events like open house, first day of school, and we used to also help with dinner with family literacy and math nights. Alicia, you want to do this?
So our big fundraiser every year is called the Read-A-Thon. Each grade has a set goal number of minutes that they take home and try to accomplish. At one point it was more read as many as you could, and now we just sort of give them a group goal. And that's what we get the majority of our money to support the fundraisers and functions that the school does throughout the year with all the kids, like Casey just talked about. So we ask for sponsors in the community. It can be family, it can be friends. We get lots of business sponsors. And it's just a big community event that brings the kids all together, encourages reading, and also helps support all the events that we do at school. So we do that in lieu of other fundraisers throughout the
Pretty
year.
much our only fundraiser. We don't do wrapping paper, we don't do pizza kits, none of that stuff. The Read-A-Thon is great because it's all about the kids getting excited about reading. And they have fun with it. There's lots of events throughout the month. It's the month of November. There's an opening ceremony, there's a closing ceremony with a principal's challenge. So it's really fun. The kids really like it. So one thing MESA does, and all of your kindergartners will get one of these, is we have MESA, we have Mary Hogan t-shirts, and each kid will get one. So that's exciting. We also have a sale, you can buy Mary Hogan gear. We also help with the monthly walk and roll to school. So kids are encouraged once a month to ride their bikes or walk or bus. So we help with that. And some of the fundraising that the Read-A-Thon provides goes towards, this year the kindergartners are doing yoga classes every Friday in May. And I think they've enjoyed that. Yeah. My son, he's a kindergartner, he said, "Oh, I'm really sore after that yoga," so I don't know how intense it is, but it's fun. The first graders in class have done the VINS program. We have some kids this year going to ECHO. Button Bay was a popular field trip. The fourth graders used to go to Mount Independence, Fort Ty, and then fifth graders used to go to Montclair Museum, Maritime Museum. A lot of these programs have sort of quieted. We're hoping to send kids more places in the future. And then just we give out grants to the art program, music, PE, Spanish, to buy supplies, lots of books for the library, classroom supplies. So we meet once a month in the library. It's the third Thursday of the month. We start the meeting at 6:30 with Jen Kravitz. We call it Principal's Round Table, and we throw a topic out that's interesting to the members, and she discusses the topic with the group. And then at 7, we just get into the business, voting on things, and giving updates on events and that kind of thing. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Do you have more to add?
Just that joining MESA can be as big or as little of a commitment as you want. We'd love to have you join the board and be there for every meeting, but if you can take on one task throughout the year or just want to pop into a meeting, we'd love to have you. There's no set commitment. We just really want to build our community to help support the kids and the teachers where and when we can.
Yep, and we have our contact info at the bottom. Again, my name is Casey. I'm the treasurer next year. Alicia will be the president next year. I have 2 sons. Henry's in 3rd grade and Ben is in kindergarten. Alicia's got 3.
I've got Natalie in 2nd, she'll go to 3rd. Cooper's currently in kindergarten, he'll move up to 1st, and then my youngest Ellie will enter the preschool program here in the fall.
Yeah, so any questions, feel free to reach out. Nice to see everybody. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks. And I have to say, like, MESA has a hugely positive impact on our school, and it is like, you know, the people who come, right? Like it runs on lots of kind of volunteer time, which is like, can be small or large. So we're super grateful to MESA and the opportunities that they provide for our kids. So I think there's one kind of final reminder. June 13th from 9 to 11 a.m. is our kinder camp. So it's the first time we've done this, so we're looking forward to it. And kids can come for 2 hours. They'll have an experience of being in class, doing some plays, some tabletop activities, some like morning meeting, some just kind of more in the room than what they had during our short visitation earlier. Please RSVP if your child's going to come. You can email Meg Baker. There's some reminder slips if you just want to grab one on your way out and like stick it on your refrigerator. And to come to kinder camp, you need to have the registration paperwork done, but you can still do it that morning. So we're just really trying to not chase down registration paperwork. When kids move to Mary Hogan, they can't start until we have the registration paperwork, and like a day after we have the registration paperwork. So it's just hard when we get to the end of the season and we don't have all the incoming kindergarten paperwork. In late June, you'll get a placement letter saying which of these amazing teachers your child will be have as their teacher, and kind of a little bio of them. So with a picture, you can put it up on your fridge also, and talk about them. In early August, I'll send a welcome back letter to everybody. And then in late August, you'll get a whole bunch of mailings that includes like bus routes, food service information, the free and reduced meal applications that we ask everyone to fill out, even if you're not sure if you're going to qualify. They bring in about $1 million to Mary Hogan every year in federal funds, and it allows us to fund like reading intervention and things like that. Our behavior consultant, who's a huge help to us, and we in the past when if we have a certain number, we can also fund whole school events with that money, which is huge. So we just ask all parents to fill out that form, and we'll have, before the first day of school, a visit to your child's classroom. And then the first day of school is August 31st. It's super late this year. It's a really long summer. Last summer was a really short summer. We got out late and we started really early. So this is a really long summer, so I hope you have a wonderful time with your kids. We've talked a lot. Are there questions that you all have that we haven't touched on? Yeah, go ahead.
As far as driving a bus, is there like a trial about?
So you can always ride the bus. You can always bring your child to kindergarten for the first 6 months of the year and then decide to ride the bus. Or you can ride the bus, you can decide once whatever feels right to you, it could be the first day. We are gonna ride it the first day. But there's no dry run of the bus before the first day, unfortunately, yeah. The bus company doesn't offer them and they're not our employees, so we work with them. But you will see before the first day the bus probably driving by your house because they will run the routes. They just don't run the routes with kids. Yeah. Yes.
What are the after-school options, like for aftercare?
Yeah. Great question. So we partner in a way with the Mary Johnson After School Program. They run a program here in our gyms after school until 5:15. That's the only program that we work closely with. There are other after-school programs in town, but we work with Mary Johnson because they're in our building. That information about enrollment will come out at some point this summer. We'll make sure that we pass it along to families. They're just finalizing their summer camp, which they also run here. So once I think that gets started, they'll start thinking about the fall. And that actually, the after-school program is something your child can do 1 day a week or every day of the week. It's pretty flexible depending on your needs. And the person who runs it is Dan DeFranco, and he's new. He just started in January, and he is great. He's doing a really, really lovely job, and he's a great partner with schools. Any other questions? Yeah.
What's the rough size of the incoming?
Yeah, I think they're about 60. Is that right, Kate? How many students are we anticipating in the incoming?
Yeah, right now it's about 14 per class.
14 per class, 15 per class is about, and that's pretty standard from what I've seen kind of historically. I think, is that right? Yeah.
Adding to that, how do you determine who's in each class?
Yeah, that's a great question. So some of the things that what we'll look at is the kindergarten team, and then I will sit down and we'll look at, there's a parent questionnaire we asked you to fill in. If they're in a preschool, we've asked preschool providers to give us some information about your child. We also are kind of taking, these guys have gone to visit a lot of the preschools, not every single childcare facility, but pretty much every preschool in the area. And have seen kids in there where they're most comfortable, and then they'll see them when they're here. They'll see them twice, hopefully. So that's kind of the information we use. We also look at balancing classes. It feels really important that the class feels balanced in a lot of different ways. If we have 10 kids coming to us from Mary Johnson, we probably don't put all those 10 kids in the same classroom, because we want kids who had a varied background experience. We want kids who try to balance genders, recognizing that not everybody identifies as male or female, but we try and balance genders. We try and balance kids who have additional needs, and we just do our best. I would say that in my experience here, we pretty much do a pretty good job of finding that balance. I don't know, Julie, does that echo your experience?
Yeah, that we're trying to just look at 4 sections and balancing them out.
Right? Yeah. Getting anything? No? Okay. Yeah. So, it's a pretty intensive process, I would say, especially for kindergarten, trying to be really thoughtful. In the upper grades, it's a similar process, it just looks a little different because we know the kids a little bit better. Yeah, so two things that Julie just mentioned that I didn't mention earlier is that typically once a month we'll have on the first Wednesday, have an early release day, and that is often the walk and roll day. And it's a day when we get out of school at 12:45. And this year there was not enough staffing for the Mary Johnson program after school, so we know that that's a burden to families, and we also recognize that we've embedded professional development for teachers is hugely important, and so it's an opportunity for teachers to learn and grow together, and for our support staff to learn and grow together. And then the other thing that Julie mentioned was that each of the kindergarten classes has a paraeducator to help support in the class. You know, they're the classroom assistant. They're really important to the kids. They see them as an important, trusted person in their world in kindergarten. The other thing I should have started with, and then I'm going to end with because I didn't start with it, is that Mary Hogan has 4 core values, and I guess I just want to say, like, you may have heard kind of echoes of this throughout the presentation, but we really do value at our core belonging, connection, growth, and respect. And those are the things that we talk about. Those are the things that we really want to help kids feel a sense of connection. We know, and we want them to feel a sense of belonging. We know everybody does better if they feel like they belong and they have connections. We want them to grow in all the ways that they'll grow. And we want them to be open-minded and be respectful of each other and differences and learning in different ways. So that's what I got. So we'll be around, and for sure don't hesitate to reach out if you have questions. Thanks for coming. I know for some of you, or especially smaller ones, it might be a late night, and